Champs Score is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza. Also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, Alta Equipment Company, Michigan High School Athletic Association, and the Construction Association of Michigan.
And welcome into another edition of State Champs Score. Not just any edition, this is a playoff edition. What a fantastic night. Hope you're having a fun and safe Halloween night so far. Action going on all over the state, and that's why we are here tonight. It is a pleasure to bring State Champs Score to you on a Friday night. We've got a cast of hundreds in here. My partner, Grant Perry, always a pleasure to see you, Grant. Playoffs are here, man. The season blew by. Now it's playoff time.
It's go time, and everything counts now, right? You've had the season. You can have some bumps in the roads, but you've learned from them. There's no time for that. You have to figure it out and figure it out fast. And in round one, you see a lot of upsets, and you see some teams that are supposed to win, and they win. So I'm excited to see what we see tonight with this great slate ahead of us.
So we have so much going on. Not only are we going to, have some highlights for you, things that have happened already. If you're having a difficult time jumping around, we got you. That's what we're here tonight to do, to let you know some of the action going on. The highlights off the top of the show, we can let you know what's going on with some of that. Updates. We're going to check in with Patty Cesarini. Patty is manning the score desk. We're going to call it the score desk. Lauren Plant will be along as well. We're going to take a look at a couple of our competitions going on. Of course, we've got the Anvil. We've got Mr. Football. So a lot of things to get to tonight. But first, why don't we start with some of these highlights? Here's the cool thing about this. The cast of hundreds that we have here, John Watson literally just handed me this list saying, here are some of the highlights. And Riverview and King, this one started a little early, but King off to a quick start, Grant.
Yeah, they are. And as you can see, they're getting it going from the passing attack right here. They're attacking on the ground. King looking good right now. They've had some bumps in the road. They lost twice this year to Cass Tech. So they're trying to build that momentum here as they move on and move forward.
Riverview got on the board here, though. Take a look. There's your touchdown pass. They went for two. They could not convert here, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that tackle, huh?
Talk about being close. Running that T as well, giving Martin Luther King some time of possession issues, I imagine.
King adds to it there. They get the big man back. He is a big man as well, Mr. Dukes.
Yeah, he is. He can run that football. We've had the opportunity to watch him play, and he's a special player.
We jump over, take a look at Clarkson. This looked like a nothing play, Grant, and then, whoops, look at that.
Turned into something, and how about that? He turns on the Jets, breaks a tackle, and takes it the distance. Talk about making those plays, and come playoff football time, it's those plays, it's the missed tackles, it's what wins the games, and you see right there Clarkson getting off to a good start.
Yeah, this offense, we've seen them a few times this year, Grant. Yeah. This offense can hurt you in a myriad of ways. There's no doubt about that. But a big fumble when it looked like they were going in stopped one of their drives, to be sure.
Yeah, and right here, another deep shot. That one to number 13, Wendell Childs. We had the opportunity to watch these guys play. He's a track star, 800-meter state champion. These guys can fly. Wendell Childs leading that passing attack in the air for Clarkston.
John Watson just told me DLS. Is that a halftime score? I know it was at least close to halftime, if I'm not mistaken. 28-20, DLS is on top. It looked like they were going in to make it 35-13, if my math is correct. Math was not my major, okay? So I'll defer with math problems to Grant Perry.
No,
but then a long pick six kind of changed the trajectory of that one. 28-20, you're within shouting distance.
Yeah, and we just saw it, like you said, Sean, and the main thing that we always talk about is how do these teams go into half, those 8 minutes or those 4 minutes going into half and the 4 minutes coming out of half. And as you see, the Spartans, they almost went down 14, but they ended up getting that turnover, that pick six, and they were able to get this to a one-score game going in half versus a team like De La Salle. Now, their record may not say, hey, we're the reigning champs and we are what we are, but they were able to get back to a one-score.
Some more live look-ins. Not so live look-ins. Certainly don't want to get in trouble with the MHSAA tonight, John Watson. But that's that Pilot offense. Hey, listen, Grant, you had a great comparison before the show started. Was it your freshman year? Tell everybody about your freshman year at Brother Rice.
Yes. So, you look at De La Salle and, you say, hey, well, are they really a contender? But, their record doesn't show a team that had great success. And that was the same situation with us at Rice, my freshman year, Brother Rice, that is. We were 5-4, and we were barely making the playoffs. We got lucky. We had just enough playoff points, and then we were able to make a run and go deep in and win that state championship versus Lowell. And it starts off with the chemistry and the bond. You have to be sold in a unit, and we all were bought in, and we knew that back as it was against the wall.
Seaholm and Cousino is another game that we're keeping an eye on.
Ooh,
There's that pick six that we talked about.
That was a great read. The safety came down, jumped right inside of that slant, and then that was 6 all the way. That's a defensive back's dream interception. When you see nothing but green grass, great job there.
As we mentioned, Seaholm and Cousino, I believe at last check, Watson, yell at me if you'd like, it was 14-7 Seaholm, I believe was the score. Fantastic. This is a good matchup as well, huh?
Yeah, it is. 2 really good rushing attacks. Seaholm, you see he's running that option, but hey, you got to be careful in the option. You got to make the pitch right there. They don't get the pitch. Great play by the Cousino defense. Not only getting that forced fumble, but picking it up and making it 6.
Look at that somersault into the end zone as well. So certainly we're keeping an eye on that. No doubt about it. I believe we're going to throw – you want to go to the score desk right now? Is that what we're going to do? I believe we're going to go to the score desk right now. Why don't we check in with our own Patty Cesarini. Hi, Patty.
Hey, guys. Thanks. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll start with Division I first. So 27-14 Howell up against Kalamazoo Central at half. 28-0 East Kentwood up against Grand Ledge also at halftime. And then Salem and Saline, 15-0 Saline in the second quarter. Dearborn Fordson and Farmington duking it out 14-7. Fordson is up at halftime. And then Utica Eisenhower up 3-0 at half against Rochester Hills Stony Creek. Moving on to Division II, we have Muskegon Mona Shores against Muskegon, and it's 20-13. Muskegon is up in the second quarter. Traverse City Central and Traverse City West. TCC is up 7-6 at half. Then we also have St. Clair Shores Lakeview and Port Huron Northern tied at 7-7 in the second quarter. Moving on to Division III, 21-0 Mount Pleasant up against Bay City Western at half. Then 7-0 Coopersville up against Grand Rapids Kennewa Hills in the first quarter. And that's all that I've got for you guys right now. I'm going to toss it right back to you, Sean.
Appreciate you, Patty. Great that you're with us tonight. I want to correct myself as well. There's a lot going on here, so we want to make sure that we give you some right updates just in case you can't. It is Cousino on top of Seaholm, 14-7. Thank you to John Watson for setting me straight there. Cousino on top, 14-7. So that is something that we are going to keep an eye on. A lot of things to do tonight. A lot of scores that are coming in. So as they come in, we'll let you guys kind of know what's going on. But one of the things that we do here at State Champs, Grant, is we talk about the Mr. Football Award. And this is something that we've been doing for a long, long time, a lot longer than I have even been here at State Champs. And I've been here a while now. There's a look at your list right there. Boy, that's a pretty darn good list, huh?
Yeah, it is. And you can really tell by look at the schools these guys are going to. I mean, Ohio, Michigan State. I mean, a lot of conferences at the next level are represented and a lot of great football being played by these kids.
So what we're going to do is throughout the evening, we're going to bring up a guy or two at a time and talk about some of the guys on this list. And you know, Grant, there's no substitute in the great game of football for speed. And let's talk about a couple of speedsters. Let's start with Sadler from Cass Tech.
You hit it right on the head, Sean. I mean, speed is everything. Now, you don't see a huge kid playing in C.J. Sadler, but he makes up for that with his speed. You see him running right by the King defense. And UNC, North Carolina that being, is getting a playmaker. I mean, you touch the ball in space, and you get him to the end zone. That's the recipe for success. Teams want to find and get their best and fastest player in open space. C.J. Sadler provides that, but he also is versatile, man. He can play defensive back and cover other teams as number one receiver, but he also can return kicks, return punts. He's very versatile. He fits right into that scheme of, I imagine Bill Belichick likes his football players. Versatile, able to do multiple things, and you can tell he's a hungry kid. He always wants to win, always looking for that football. That's what you want out of a number one receiver.
He's got that game speed as well, and you know what I mean by that. It just seems like when he's out on the football field, he finds a different gear. How many times have we seen that watching games over the last couple of years?
100%. And it's a different gear, but it's also he does it so smoothly.
Yeah.
He's such a smooth kid. The way he cuts, the way he runs, the way he catches. He's only 5'9", 5'10", but he goes up the end zone. He mossed in two kids the week one versus King, the game where we saw. I mean, he can really do a lot of things, and UNC, like we said, is getting a really good, skilled playmaker.
Well, as we said, we wanted to talk about two speedsters. The other guy, he really doesn't need any introduction. I mean, not only is he phenomenal on the football field, heck, he's a state record holder as well, and we're talking about Samson Gash.
Yeah, man, talk about explosive. I mean, these two kids, they're lightning in a bottle. Anytime they touch the ball, touchdowns are likely and probable. Samson Gash being example number 2. He's been doing it for a few years here at Catholic Central. They become a powerhouse these past few years with new head coach Justin Sasanti, and just Samson Gash, man. He is electric, committed to Michigan State, but also entertaining some other options. I'm sure we'll touch on that here later in the show, but explosive player.
Yeah, it is phenomenal when you watch this kid take off and run. I mean, a track state record holder.
Yeah, I mean, talking about taking angles, you have to take an angle then some. I mean, you can't even coach to how to take an angle to tackle this kid. You really just have to aim at the end zone and try to beat him there because the chances are not likely.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So obviously you can be a part of this. We tell people all the time, go to our website, be a part of this, let your vote be heard and your voice be heard. There's take a look at our list again, as you mentioned, some guys that are going on, and a pretty explosive junior as well. Dakota has been all that, and that's a young man that's going to have pretty much a pick of just about anybody when all is said and done.
Yeah, he'll be able to go anywhere he wants, and he is the prototypical next-level Division I football player. He's a football player that you can look at and say, we might see him on Sundays, just the way he's built and what he's been able to do at such a young age. I mean, we had the opportunity last year to see him play. He was making plays all over the field as a sophomore, progressing into his junior season, now into looking and having basically every option that he wants and be able to go anywhere.
Well, it's a very busy night. It is a special night. This is something that we've been doing for a while. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching this as much as we enjoy doing it. But being a special night, we could not do this night without State Champs royalty. I know he's going to be angry at me for introducing him that way, but State Champs royalty is here in the form of LP Lauren Plant. What's up, LP?
What's up, boys? I'm here in the shadows. You can't see me, but we got an update. I've got an update for you. Cass Tech, the defending Division I state champs, going up against 7-2 Northville. Early on in the first quarter, Cooper to catch is picked off by Marcus Jennings. He's going to take this one to the house for 6. And Cass immediately making their presence felt there at home. And it wasn't long after before they were going to get on the board again. The talented sophomore QB, Donald Tabron II, he's going to find Will Sykes for a touchdown strike. The PAT was no good, so it was a 13-0 game after the first quarter. Second quarter, Cass kept rolling. Tabron with a quick hitch to Corey Sadler. You just talked about him. And there is the Mr. Football front runner right now, headed down the field. He's going to be knocked out just shy of the goal line, but it wouldn't be long before Tabron would finish the job on a QB keeper. And right now, it's Cass Tech 20, Northville 3 in the second quarter.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. By the way, we got a final as well. 36-6, I believe. It was King on top of Riverview. 36-6, was that the number?
I believe, yep, that's what it was.
All right. Hey, while we have a second, we want you all to know we're going to be going all around the state as well. This is not just about one area, one division. No. Let's take a look at some of the intriguing matchups in particular in Division 7 and 8. Grant, there you go. Boy, who made that graphic? Isn't that graphic beautiful? Look at these guys.
Yeah,
huh?
that's a solid job right there. Really good job of laying out the regions, letting you know where teams are playing, what teams are hosting. And, I mean, talking Division 8, you see up top left, Bark River Harris, taking on West Iron Country. There's a lot of good matchups, and you may look, you see the record at the bottom of the team, and you look to the right, you say, what's that number? Well, that's their playoff points, and that's how they're seeded, and that's what, put them in these positions based off a number of factors. But really good matchups here. Any in this screen that catches your eye, Sean?
Harbor Beach, we were watching them a couple weeks ago, and boy, did they put on a show in one of the games that we were watching on the score. That's going to be a team to look out for. Maple City Glen Lake, I mean, they've had so many good teams. They've produced so many good players. That's another team that really intrigues me. But I'll tell you what, we were watching that Harbor Beach. I don't remember if it was last week or the week before. It was one of our main games on score. Boy, that was a good-looking team, Grant. They really were.
I bet. I mean, 9-0, they're looking like the favorite up there. And as we move down, District 61 here, Hudson versus Decatur. I mean, White Pigeon. I mean, that's a team that's been in the finals for some years here. I mean, New Lothrop, Manchester. I mean, there's some good teams here at the Division 7 level that are, going head-to-head. Academy for Business and Tech at 9-0 with 45 playoff points. They're looking like a front-runner in that region.
Cabrini, look at that. Nice 8-1 record there with that high playoff points as well. Gabriel Richard, one of those teams you were talking about it earlier, 4-5, but you best bring your best game against a team like that.
Yeah, a team that's 4-5. I mean, they've had the bumps in the road. They've seen the lows. They're only looking for highs, so they're going to be coming out fast, hard, and furious. The 4-5 teams, 5-4 teams, look out for those. Those are the dangerous, sleeping teams.
Yeah, the game we were talking about, it was a game that you and I did, as a matter of fact, last year. We saw Millington. Harbor Beach really had their way with Millington. It was a heck of a game, so keep an eye on Harbor Beach. Let's take a look at what's going on in Division 7. I mean, Pewamo, Westphalia. Hey, listen, in other news, the Sunrose. They got another good football team. Boy, have they been a factory.
Yeah, they have. I mean, 8-0. I mean, just looking like the powerhouse in that division. And you look down Saginaw Valley, Lutheran, kind of holding that edge down there. Charlevoix, 8-1. One of the most beautiful cities in Michigan, might I add. So a lot of good football here in Division 7 as well. I mean, and it's so hard. How do you decide? If you were to make your own bracket, I just don't know how you'd go about saying, I got to count these guys out. Especially with a team like Millington, like you just said. We had the opportunity to watch them. Monroe, St. Mary's Catholic Central, they are a great team with a really good pedigree. So some more teams here that have that forward field experience. Look out for those teams, the teams that know how to win late in the season. Especially as it gets colder here late in the year. Those are the teams to look out for.
Yeah, Ottawa Lake Whiteford, that is a team to look out for as well. What a dandy. If they end up winning and Monroe ends up winning, boy, what a dandy that could be. And of course, Millington, as we talked about. I mean, Grant, you and I had the privilege of doing that game on FanDuel last year at Ford Field. So many of those guys a part of that championship pedigree team.
Yes. And going into that game, I thought Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central was going to have the edge, and Millington really surprised me. They had a running back last year that really carried the load.
Yeah, so much going on, and we want to keep an eye on so many things. To tell you what we're looking at, we can't turn the cameras around. I know you wish you could turn the cameras around or at least keep the camera on the handsome Grant Perry. But here we are. This is what we have to do. But what we have going on here is we have a screen out in front of us, and periodically you'll see games pop up on that screen. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see there are a bunch of games going on over there, and we're keeping our eye on some of the action. And most importantly, the crew is keeping their eye on some of the action. A very intriguing game, Grant, and you saw Brighton just a couple weeks ago, as a matter of fact, and we saw West Bloomfield earlier in the year, a great place to see a game. But Brighton and West Bloomfield, that one really intrigues me because I'll tell you, I could make an argument for either one of those teams to win that game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we saw Brighton. I saw Brighton. Me and Ryan Slocum called that game. You took your spot back here, and I mean, Brighton, they came out hard. It was against Howell, and Howell, they just had the edge. Keish, the running back for Howell, he overpowered him. So if West Bloomfield and Jamal Shakespeare, the running back for West Bloomfield, number 2, they can find some energy on the ground and score quick and fast, that puts Brighton in a little bit of a backseat panic mode. But Brighton, I mean, 2 weeks ago, they lost to Howell, devastating loss. They're ready for these types of momentum swings. So look for them to have a bounce-back week here in the first round of the playoffs.
You know, it's interesting because when you look at the KLAA, you've seen them go like this, and they had to. I mean, Belleville went next level, okay? And you know how it is. You better get the farm in order or else there might be some problems. And you've seen some teams really respond the last few years. Heartland certainly heading in the right direction. Howell, what more needs to be said? Back-to-back KLA titles. And Brighton, certainly Livingston County, you've seen some pretty good football played out there.
Yeah, man. It's a division that we know and has been great at football, but they're getting better and better. We saw Belleville take a little bit of a step back this year, but the power was just spread out amongst the other teams. The Highlanders that you mentioned, I mean, Coach Brian Lewis, knew him previously. He was a coach at Michigan. I mean, he's got these guys rolling. They run a 3 running back T-type formation where they're just handing that ball off to the fullback quickly or to the running back on the outside, and they find a lot of success in that game plan.
You know it's a special night when my partner has the hands going. If you listen to us broadcast games during the year, I know when Grant's on because he starts that, like the windmill. I mean, you know how a windmill just goes up. Grant, when those arms start, Grant's having a lot of fun, and we are having a lot of fun here. Hey, earlier this afternoon, there was an afternoon game in the city of Detroit as Edison was hosting the Trailblazers of Central. Edison in the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row. This is one of those intriguing matchups early in the first quarter. The junior Javon Powder gets the handoff, and he gone. Down the sideline, 55-yard touchdown. Pioneers did fail on the 2-point conversion, but they were up 6-0 after the first. We move to the second. Edison driving in the red zone in that second quarter. A pair of juniors hooking up here as Miles Matlock gets it to James Davis. Makai James Davis, he gets into the end zone. They do get the 2-point conversion this time, and they find themselves up 14-0. But Central was not going to go quietly into night. Big play right here before the half. Jaden McDonald heaves it deep, and it's Tyree Acuff who snags the one-hander and goes into the end zone. Hey, let's see that one again.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
How did he catch this, Sean? He taps it to himself. Yeah, wow.
You know what it reminds me of? Like that little football that you play with. That's a real big football. But you know how you would practice on those one-handed grabs? That's how easy he made that. What a catch, Grant Perry. Central trails 14-6 as we head into the half. But in the second half, no other way to say it, it was all Detroit Edison. Another junior making a big play. Caden Upshaw takes the punt. 68 yards for the touchdown. He also added a receiving score in the third quarter as well. They really came on in the second half of this one. Edison advances to the Division VI district final with a big 42-18 victory.
That's a victory right there. I mean, you see the kid get vertical on the punt return. That's exactly how you got to do it. You got to get vertical, make a guy miss. And it sounds like he was not only busy on the punt return, but he was getting involved in the offense as well.
Outstanding stuff. So congratulations to Edison for that big victory, 42-18 over Central. Keeping an eye on some other games going on as well. I believe fellas Tecumseh and Divine Child, we're going to keep an eye on that. That's one that we've got some eyes on. Holly and Fenton is an interesting one. And one, Grant, I think that you might be interested in. I'm going to go out on a limb. Brother Rice and Walled Lake Western. Does that do anything for you?
It pulls at the heartstrings a little bit,
Just a
hoping
little
that
bit.
the Warriors pull through, but big one for the Warriors. And going against a really good Walled Lake Western team. Donovan Triplett, a name to look out for. A speedster running back for that Walled Lake Western team. Brother Rice are going to have their hands full, and as a lot of other teams will as well this week. So looking for the Warriors and Walled Lake Western to have a good showdown here tonight.
So we will check in with some of the vids and some of the updates on that. But as we mentioned, it's always nice to see this smiling face. Patty Cesarini's got some score updates for you. Patty?
Yeah, I would say the biggest update right now is Muskegon, Mona Shores, and Muskegon are all knotted up at 20-20 in the third. Then if you take a look at some of the Division III matchups, Bay City Western and Mount Pleasant, right now Mount Pleasant leads 28-0 in the third. Coopersville up 14-0 against Grand Rapids Kennewa Hills in the second. 15-8, Niles leads Zeeland West in the second. Coldwater and Lowell, too, also knotted up at 14-14 at half. So we've got a couple of close games, and then, honestly, a couple of blowouts as well. You look at Division 4, 30-6, Goodrich leads Lake Fenton at halftime. And then this is the big one right here. At halftime, Pontiac Notre Dame Prep, 52-0 against Hazel Park. Back to you guys.
Very early in the season, we saw them out at Lumen Christi. What an offensive explosion that was, that game, Grant Perry.
Yeah.
So we know what that offense can do with MD Prep.
Yeah, I mean, they're explosive. Had the opportunity, like you said, versus Lumen Christi. And, I mean, offense was the main show. Whether it was running or throwing, they were able to do both, which made it really hard for Lumen Christi to stay in the game. And that's just what Notre Dame Prep does. They get ahead, and they just keep the lead. So look for them to maintain that throughout these playoffs.
I believe, John Watson, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Divine Child was up 21-7 on Tecumseh. And unfortunately, there's an injury timeout on the field. I guess they had to bring the ambulance. I don't have any more information. Let's hope that it's precautionary. Let's hope that it's safe. No doubt about that. But 21-7 is the last score that we heard with an injury timeout. Nobody wants to see something like that. But listen, let's hope that it's just precautionary. A lot of times, Grant, as you well know, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. And every game you're going to see here tonight has an ambulance ready to go. And they're just there for the player safety. And like you said, Sean, hopefully that this is just something minor, small, and they just want to be safe. So, we'll keep you updated if we hear anything more on that.
So one of the other things that we do on State Champs, if you check out either the stream or the television show, you guys do check out the television show, right, on WDIV. I hope you do. But we've got the State Champs Anvil Award, and there's a look at some of those names. And again, Grant, I challenge people to look to the left of those names and look at some of those logos and where these guys are going.
Yeah, there's going to be a few future teammates here linking up in Notre Dame. You just see three of those guys committed. Cleve Canty, another name for Cass Tech, big old lineman, been leading that team for a while. Benny Azuka from Detroit Catholic Central, committed to play at Penn State. He's been doing it for a long time at Catholic Central as well. Keep an eye out as well. He's been also entertaining other options, keeping things open, as James Franklin, who, as we all know, is no longer with Penn State. Another name I'll throw out there, Hayden Flavin, Clarkston, offensive tackle, 6'6", and here's Benny Azuka, just a mauler, a road grader. Watch him come around this edge, pull play. So as a college coach, you look, hey, is he versatile? Can he move on the edge? Yeah, he's playing guard. Look at him go pull, log block him inside, keep the running back on his path, and you can tell by his frame. A lot of time, look at that. I mean, that's blind side Michael Orr type of block, just kicking guys out of the club, if you will, Sean. And he does it at a very high level. And he's started on this team as a freshman. Now, fast forward to his senior year, he's committed at Penn State, and rightfully so. And a lot of times you hear the eye test in football, right? Does the guy pass the eye test? Benny Azuka passes that eye test. You go and stand next to the kid, and you're looking up at the Eiffel Tower, essentially. He's so big and tall. So looking forward to see how his career progresses, but a lot of good candidates in that Anvil Award to watch list.
Greg Patrick is another guy that we're going to put on the spotlight. take a look here. Big boy from Portage Northern.
Yeah, and left tackle, look at him getting outside, sealing blocks, and look at him drive the guys downfield. It's all about through the whistle. That's what college coaches want to see. That's what high school coaches want to see. Do you play through the echo of the whistle? Not the whistle, the echo. And you can tell by his play, he shows up every day, and he's ready to work. Just absolutely pushing guys and young men against their will. And that's your job as an offensive lineman. You got to move those guys, get those guys out of the way. Because if you do that, the run game's good. The run game's good. The pass game's good. The pass game's good. Coach is happy, and you're probably going to have come out with a win.
You know, you've seen a couple of these. I mean, he's got that Penei Sewell thing going on. I mean, the play from last week where Penei Sewell's running out there in the open field with Jahmyr Gibbs, for goodness sake. I mean, guys moving people down the field. There is our criteria. It is tried, true, and tested. We talk about this criteria from week 1 on. Just in case you're new to this, we say this incessantly because that is what we live by. 30% performance throughout the season, 20% your level of competition. Yeah, the online vote counts. If you finish in our top, guess what? You're automatically in our Final Four. Big game performance, that's where you really start to see guys separate themselves, Grant, this time of year. And if we're being honest, you could add 10% to that with team success because winning those big games, especially the playoff games, also equals to team success and 5% highly recruited athlete. But let's be honest, Grant, you know this better than anybody. You lived it. I think the secret is out now. You're seeing guys all over this great state not only go to some of the big names, the Michigans, the Notre Dames, but you're seeing guys get recruited to some big nationwide powerhouses as well.
Yeah, and that's so awesome to see, right? You want to see the state of Michigan prosper, right? And that starts with the level of football, right? Are these kids that come into these schools, are they looking to go to the next level? And as the years grow on, you know, my age and my time, you see Michigan State, you see a couple Ohio States, then you start looking now. I mean, Cleve Canty going to Missouri. You got other guys going down south. You got guys going to the West Coast. The O-lineman from West Bloomfield decommitted from Bowling Green and is now going to UCLA. So you've seen a wide stretch of athletes going to different places. I wonder if that's also part and due to the kind of the landscape of how college football is starting to shape.
Now, we have an update from Divine Child, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we can take a look at some of those highlights here. Big hit there and going the other way.
Scoop and score.
That's still such a cool helmet. I'm
It
a
is.
big fan of that helmet.
It's a good jersey combination. Those look clean. I mean, just two plays in a row, hat on the football, ball on the ground, and Divine Child is going the other way. I mean, they might have more defensive yards than offense after this one.
You want to flip a game, you get a couple of defensive scores.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's going on here. At last check, I don't know if it's still the case. Maybe John Watson, you can let me know. I know there was an injury timeout in that game. Evidently, there's still an injury timeout. Let's hope everything's okay. I'm just reporting what we're being told. I don't know what the injury is. I'm not going to speculate on the injury. What I can say is let's hope that it's just precautionary. That's hope and pray that it's just precautionary. But, Grant, quickest way to flip any game is finding a way to create those turnovers. And you know, this is a one and done. This isn't like a best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7. If you have that night where you're getting some hats on the balls, as you said, or you're not protecting the ball, your season can be over. It don't matter who you are.
Yeah, and it can slip from you fast. And the main thing, like you said, Sean, is takeaways. And when you can get those takeaways, it also increases your time of possession. It gives your offense the ball back, and it gives your team a sense of confidence. It not only gives you confidence, Sean, but starts to creep a little bit of doubt into that other team. They start thinking, man, we did all this for this, and we're losing. Our season is winding down. There's a quarter left. So it starts adding a little bit of that give up to the other team, if you will.
All right, we are going to make our way all around the divisions tonight. And by the way, we're going to be here all throughout the playoffs, so hopefully you'll join us as well. I know being Halloween night, there's a lot going on here, but hopefully you're enjoying this as much as we're enjoying it. Patty's going to be back in a second to let you know what the updates are, but why don't we take a look at Division 6 while we have a moment. I was just looking at this one today My goodness, there's some intriguing matchups here. I love that matchup, Kingsley and Calumet, way up north. Beautiful Calumet. That's one that jumps out to me. Which one jumps out to you, Grant?
That's a good one. I mean, I liked your one too. So 2-7-2 teams going at it. I was looking at the Olivet versus Kent City, 9-0 versus 8-1 over there. That's a high. Look at the playoff points on that right side. District 43. I mean, Belding 57, Elise 42, Kent City 49, Olivet 51. Like that is a good division. Got to imagine that one of those teams is going to be making a few more rounds here moving forward.
Yeah, there are a lot of options to jump out of there. Of course, Jackson, Lumen Christi, we saw them. I'm not joking. I mean, no disrespect to all the places we've been. Grant, that place was so much fun. It was electric, and that offense is electric for Lumen Christi.
Yeah, they are, and they're sitting at 6-3. So I mean, they've had some bumps in the road, but they're still sitting in a position to where they feel like they control their own destiny. That's a team to look out for, a matchup to look out for. I'm also looking down at the bottom right, Almont 9-0, coming in 61 playoff points. I mean, that as far as in this division, at least in this side of the bracket, that's the highest we've seen in this region 24. So Clintondale, they got their hands full, but we've talked about those 5-4 teams.
Yep.
They could be dangerous. Almont could be riding that 9-0 high, so look out for Clintondale there. Marine City as well, another team. Clawson, it's a really good bracket there in region 24.
Detroit Edison already took care of business as we had here on Score, so they will be moving on. But you're right. You bring up such a good point. You take a look at Jackson, Lumen Christi. They're near 62 playoff points. Almont, near 62 playoff points. Those are two teams definitely that appear being the key and operative word, appear to be the teams to beat.
Yes, and if we're wondering, what are these playoff points? Think about the college football ranking system, 1 through 25. Those teams are ranked based on who they play, how they played them, and what their schedule looks like and the opponents they played. So that's kind of how it's translating here to the high school level. So it's kind of their ranking and how they got into the playoffs. And if you see that high number, good expectation that they're going to be making their way forward.
Why don't we take a look at Division 5 while we have a moment as well? As you take a look, boy, what a big year for the Cougars from Grand Rapids Catholic Central. 74 playoff points. Now compare that to everybody else on your screen right now. That's almost 20 points more than anybody else on your entire screen. That tells you the type of season. Well, I except for West Catholic, excuse me, I see it's 62. But that tells you the type of year that the Cougars from Catholic Central had.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You look at it, and like you just said, 74 for Catholic Central, 62 for West Catholic, and then everything's in the 50s or below. So, the bracket makers wanted a good round 2 matchup. Assuming that Catholic Central moves on and West Catholic moves on, two of the highest rated teams in this whole 16-team playoff picture right here could possibly match up here next week.
Swan Valley is a team to keep an eye on as well. Ann Arbor father Gabriel Richard, former Livonia Churchill, Wayne State standout John Robinson, doing a heck of a job there. A 9-0 year for them. We talked about Notre Dame Prep. Boy, oh boy, can that team score. They're showing it already here tonight. Those are a couple teams to keep an eye out on.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about Notre Dame and their ability to score and score at ease. Gabriel Richard, 9-0, 52 playoff points. Look at Frankenmuth as well, 8-1, 57. I mean, that's a team I'm looking at in Region 20 to possibly make a few runs here as these weeks move forward.
Monroe Jefferson, that's a really good team as well. If I'm not mistaken, their only loss, you guys can fact check me on this, but I believe their only loss is to Monroe St. Mary's. So that's a really good team, no doubt. Frankenmuth is just a perennial powerhouse, and one of these days they're going to pop through. I know they are. One of those days they're going to pop through. So keeping an eye on that to be sure. That should be fun. Hey, listen, Michigan Center at 8-1. Cody's another one of those teams. Don't let that record fool you. Don't let Romulus' record fool you at 4-5.
No, absolutely. I mean, you look at Cody; they're 5-4, but they have 37 points, and Romulus is the opposite. They're 4-5, but they have 41. So a lot of things go into it. Like not just if you're 4-5 and you have one less loss than a team that you're going against, doesn't mean you're going to lose. Like these teams all are ranked according to their schedule, who they played, how they played. And I think they've done a great job so far on this bracket. We're getting a lot of great matchups, and it also gives you that inclination to look at the next round. Man, there could be another great round of matchups moving forward.
I want to give a shout out to the MHSAA as well. I think they do a fantastic job with this, Grant. Honestly, it's not easy to run a tournament like this. It's not easy to make brackets like this, but I think the MHSAA does a fantastic job in regards to football.
I do too. I mean, the playoff system, it gives everyone an opportunity to really see, hey, what is our team being graded on? You know, what are our criteria that we need to meet? And it gives everyone a clear picture, which gives every coach and every team a clear picture at the beginning of the season. Hey, these are what the goals that we need to meet. So let's meet them come playoff time, so that we can get that bid, get enough playoff points to maybe even get a better seed and play someone that we may have a better opportunity against. So a lot of things play into it, and that's why a nine game regular season, you can't take a week off.
No,
you can't. You one loss here, and you might lose a playoff point, and then you might be seeded against a Monroe CC. So you got to be careful.
I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we enjoy doing it. This is something that we kind of debuted. As I remember, last February, we decided to do it late in the hockey tournament, and we sat in studio and, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is.
Why don't we try this during football season? So we tried it during football season. Ryan Slocum and Rob Rubik did it many weeks. I jumped in the last couple of weeks, and I'm glad my pal Grant Perry is here, former brother Rice wide receiver, Michigan wide receiver as well. We call it SCORE, State Champ SCORE, where we are keeping an eye on a bunch of games, getting some highlights for you as well. As always, many moving parts in the show. Why don't we throw it back to Patty Cesarini with a look at the scoreboard. Patty?
Yeah, a couple more really close games, a lot of back and forth. We'll take a look first in Division 4. Ludington up 24-14 in the third quarter against Big Rapids. Taj Williams for Ludington scored his second touchdown of the night, and then Paw Paw and Three Rivers, they're tied at 14-14 in the third quarter. Same with Fowlerville and Chelsea, also knotted up at halftime at 14. You guys were talking about them a little bit earlier. Swan Valley up 14-0 against Clare. That was back in the first quarter. Then when we moved to Kalamazoo Hackett Catholic Prep, this one's getting a little crazy and wild. 21-14, that's Kalamazoo Hackett Catholic Prep. They're up. Their quarterback, Jackson Herder, has thrown 3 touchdowns so far in tonight's game against Hopkins. That's going to be a one to really keep an eye out for. And then I've got another one. This one has been going back and forth all night. Saginaw Michigan Lutheran Seminary against Saginaw Novell Catholic Central. 28-20 Saginaw Novell in the third. Back to you guys.
By the way, the best nails in the league, Patty Cesarini.
That's true.
Patty, that is absolutely factual. The best nails in the league, Patty Cesarini. The
Thank you,
next
Sean.
time we throw it back to a scoreboard update, I want you to focus on those nails, okay? Well, keep your ears open, right? But Patty, whoever does her nails is outstanding. Want to remind all of you, all 3 of us are going to be reunited, and I'm sure it'll feel so good. That's a song from many years ago. The kids wouldn't know it. But we are all going to be reunited. We're going to be doing the 8-player finals up in Marquette. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am too. First time for me, joining the experience and coming along with you guys. I'm looking forward to it, man.
And Patty and her nails are going to be up there too, right? Yes, I'm looking forward to it. No doubt about that. Hey, a lot of things going on. We're talking about some of our competitions. One of the cool things that we do here in State Champs, and hopefully you guys have been able to see this, I love the conversations that you have with, let's face it, one of the biggest recruiting gurus there is.
Yeah, Alan True and me, we have our recruiting roundup, but we call it the pipeline, where we just give you a few prospects here week to week and just tell you, hey, this is what they're doing. We talked about Benny Azuka a couple weeks back and how he's committed to Penn State, and he's looking elsewhere now a little bit because James Franklin's on the move. Or Hayden Flavin decommitted from Miami of Ohio and committed to Northwestern, to Clarkson offensive tackle. So there's a lot of updates that we bring you here week to week, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Alan True's got great insight. He's got great sources. And right here, a guy that we talked about here just last week, Jack Janda, defensive end here for Catholic Central. Man, he has a motor, man. He doesn't stop. He reminds me of a Chase Winovich almost. If Michigan out there, this kid doesn't stop. He just keeps going, keeps charging the quarterback, a battery that doesn't exhaust. And he's a part of this very talented group in Catholic Central. And these guys are, I mean, they're number 2 team in the state champs ranking. So they're poised to go a long way here in these playoffs, led by Jack Jan on the defensive side.
Well, it's worth noting he is committed to Wisconsin. However, he is still planning to visit Michigan State and still planning to visit Iowa as well. And so that's something to keep an eye on. You're seeing more and more of that come in, Grant Perry.
Yeah, I mean, talk about Iowa. I can see him as a Hawkeye, man. The way that that defense operates, they're probably going to pitch him pretty hard. He looks like an Iowa Hawkeye, but he's going to take his options. He's going to look at Michigan State and Iowa. He's obviously contemplating Wisconsin and their situation with Luke Fickell and how their season's going. But wherever he chooses to go, he's going to have success for sure.
And Kirk Ferentz is never going to leave Iowa.
No.
He was there before I was born. He was there before Grant was born. He'll be there long after we're gone, too, Grant. I mean, honestly, I mean, he's been there, 26 years now? I think Kirk Ferentz has been there?
At least, yes.
It's unbelievable. Hey, we've got some replay packages for you as well. Want to give a shout-out to all the camera people that are out around the state. How about Seaholm and Cousino? Cousino, a 4th and goal, couldn't convert. But then, take a look here. Trying to make something happen.
Look at the blocking downfield by the receiver.
Boy,
Number
even
1.
knocking that helmet off,
yeah,
right?
still going. Got to respect it. And then, hey, you block, Sean, you get rewarded. Number 1 gets in the end zone for Cousino.
Isn't that wonderful how that happens? All right, so let's move to DLS and Fitzgerald. That is an 80-yard touchdown run. DLS was rolling, and, well, you're going to see they're going to continue to roll here. Mix in a 26-yard touchdown run. And last count, do you guys have a score update for us for that? Look at John Watson, 42-26. Davidson, how about this? 40-yard lateral pass for a touchdown.
Hey, you got to keep all options open. It's playoff football. Anything's on the table. Really good play there by Davidson.
Coach Weingart's doing a tremendous job with the Cardinals. Make no mistake about that. That's something that you see time and time again. All right, let's go back to state champs royalty, Mr. Lauren Plant. Lauren?
Hey, Sean, what's going on, guys? So I'm going to give you an update. What's happening between Walled Lake Western and Brother Rice. This is a shootout, so Grant Perry is paying attention to what's happening here, and we had fireworks early in this one. In the first quarter, we're going to get to that real quick. We got to see the Warriors come and hit that banner. You know how it feels. And again, the Warriors, a team that we had counted out early in the season. They've won 3 in a row, so they are here to see if they can get a win here. Walled Lake Western, the favorite, and they started out with it. David Krall, an 80-yard bomb to Timon Dogan. He's gone. The PAT was no good. It was 6-zip Western. Brother Rice wastes no time answering back. They hand it off to the running back, and I didn't get a chance for his name, so I apologize unless you know Grant. Number 4, but he ripped off an 80-yard sprint to the house untouched. That made it 7-6 Rice. The next drive, Jacob Johnson says, "Let me get mine." A quick bubble screen, 39 yards later in the end zone, and Rice is up. But back home came the Warriors. Corey Johnson is going to lower the boom and barrel in to take the lead. It's been a back-and-forth shootout. Right now, as it stands, it's 22-21 Rice at the end of 3. We'll get you more plays and get you caught up a little later.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm just glad, Lauren, you didn't say it was a blowout and not in Rice's favor. So Rice is in it. It's still looking good. And number 4, DeAndre Hill, running back.
DeAndre Hill, that's
looking
it.
Good, running the ball well, and Battle of the Warriors, huh? Walled Lake Western Warriors.
I'm
going to
tell
Warriors.
you what, it's almost a shame that those two had to play each other so early, too, because those are two dangerous teams.
Yeah.
I mean, that Donovan triplet is absolutely legit.
He is, and it feels like he was doing it for 4 or 5. Like, he's been around for a long time, doing it at a very high level, and he's now just had the opportunity to be that senior now and really, really carry this team. There's been some other pieces for Walled Lake Western in the past that have helped, but now it's really Donovan Triplet's team, and he's going neck to neck with these Brother Rice Warriors, as you can see, and it's going to be a photo finish here. Excuse me.
That's one of those cool places to see a game as well. Back in the day, before I started working with Grant, I used to love going out to different games on a Friday night. A lot of times to do something for state champs, but a lot of times, I would say to my son, you want to go see a game tonight? I mean, instead of going to my alma mater or going to the hometown game, where we live now, let's go see a game. So we would go to different places, and we enjoyed going out to Walled Lake Western. A really, really big fan base out there and a fun spot to see a game.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to play at least one playoff game out there, and I'm going to need Lauren on this dictionary, but we played, and there was a safety that went on to NC State for Walled Lake Western, ended up playing in the pros for a little bit. I think his name was Josh something. We'll get back to that, but we played at Walled Lake Western. They're always a really competitive team that always has really skilled athletes, and like you said, both of those teams, watch out. Whoever moves on is going to be a threat.
Well, as we have done so far, we're going to continue to do this and take a look, maybe a little deeper dive, if you will, at all of the divisional matchups. Some of the games are done already. Some of them are close to being done, but why don't we take a look at Division 4 right now? Certainly some intrigue within this Division 4.
Yeah, there is, and there might be, in Division 4, there might be the best junior football player in the state of Michigan, and we'll find his team here in a little bit. But looking at these teams here, I mean, I'm seeing Portland in the top right, 9-0. Grand Rapids teams here in that same bracket with the opportunity to possibly play each other. There's some teams in here that really, could. Godwin Heights, 7-2, looking at a 51, playoff point record. Unity Christian just across on the other side, 61 points, 8-1 overall. You're not seeing too many. You see a couple 5-4s. A lot of these teams are 6-3 plus. So this is some good football being played here in this side of the bracket.
Patty gave us an update on that Paw Three Rivers game. That was one that intrigued me as well. But you mentioned Unity Christian. Let's face it. They take their football very, very seriously out there. And I think you may have heard of a kid that went to Unity Christian, Isaac Tesla. Are you familiar with his work?
I am, yes.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player. As we move on, boy, that Lansing area, take a look at that. The good teams in that area, Williamston, Hazlitt, St. John's, Lansing, Sexton, Divine Child, we knew how good they were. How about RU? But big step up for RU this year. Some intriguing ones over here. The class, though, make no mistake about it, is Harper Woods.
Yeah, Harper Woods. And I don't think we've seen an 88 overall playoff point team seeded yet thus far. That is high and above the rest of the other teams. And, it's led by the receiver, the junior that's on the Mr. Football watch list, Dakota Garant. He is a baller, 6'2 plus, plucks the ball out of the air, can jump over you, can run by you. He's going to be able to, like you said, Sean, earlier, go wherever he wants to when he's picking out his hat on signing day.
That Chelsea team is very dangerous as well. You can see they're 8-1, but nearly the same amount of points as Goodrich over there with 68. So that is a look at Division 4. We can ask the fellas, why don't we switch and see what we got at Division 3. Mount Pleasant and Bay City Western were getting together. If I'm not mistaken, Patty, you can yell at me if I'm incorrect here, but Mount Pleasant was up pretty big, right? I think Mount Pleasant was up pretty big in that one. Gaylord and Marquette, that's a pretty interesting one. And then you got Zeeland West and Zeeland East on the other side. How about that, Grant?
Yeah, hey, that's one where the bracketology maker is like, hey, let's see what happens if Zeeland East and West can both win round one. That's going to be a blockbuster type of round two matchup. And EGR, a team that we got to see last year, explosive. They got a number of playmakers on that team. Very sound football that they play. And that whole division, Coopersville 4-5, but look at 8-1 Cedar Springs, Kennewaw Hills 8-1, with 67 points. EGR 7-2. That's a really good Region 9 side right there, along with all these other teams accompanying them.
We'll scroll down and look at the other side. What a machine you've seen out of DeWitt. You're talking about some of those playoff points. That's near 80 points right there out of DeWitt, and they have been producing good football teams for quite some time, partner.
They have, and it's represented by, one, their record, and two, like you said, their playoff points. Second highest that we've seen thus far, 79. So Mason, Owasso, and Linden are kind of chomping at the bit like, hey, man, this is a good DeWitt team. We got to bring our A game. So we're interested to see the score update versus Owasso. And looking over Martin Luther King, you see that 5-4 record, but you see what they just did to Riverview, kind of running away with that one. Just a little bit too much athleticism on the perimeter, too many skill guys in space. Martin Luther King is one of those 5-4 teams that we could see down the line, maybe even at Ford Field eventually. And you look down here, Warren De La Salle versus Warren Fitzgerald. And this is another one, prime example. You see, I think this is our first team that's 3-6, our first team that doesn't have above 4 wins, but I wouldn't bet against them, man. The Warren De La Salle Pilots are moving. They're playing well, and right now, last we saw, they were up 8 or 7 at half.
A lot of good football in the thumb as well. Port Huron, Marysville intrigues me. How about Fenton and Holly? And Coach Keenis has done a fantastic job with the Broncos. He really has, and that is one of intrigue not too far away. We've got a score update as well, I believe, Grant?
Yep, De La Salle 49, Fitzgerald 26. So De La Salle has got a convincing lead in that one. And, hey, like we said, don't take the 3-6 teams lightly. They got a lot to prove.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure they heard it all week, right? You guys don't deserve to be in the playoff. You don't deserve to be in the playoff. You don't think those guys heard that stuff? Mm-hmm. And they're going to go out there and show everybody, you're darn right we do. And one of the best coaches in the state, if you ask me as well, and Coach Rome.
Yeah, he is. A great role model, great leader. Always enjoy interviewing him and getting his perspective on his team each year. And like you said, with De La Salle, you can't take them lightly. They are the type of team that takes what you say, like, hey, you're not supposed to be in the playoffs, and then they're going to go ahead and crawl back into their foxhole. They're going to regroup. They're going to find out what works, and they're going to come back out harder. This is a team in De La Salle that is no stranger to late playoff pushes. I mean, for crying out loud, they ended my senior season. So I know all about these Pilots, and I'm sure the state here this year will keep finding out more about them.
I didn't bring it up. I just want the record to show I didn't bring it up. He brought it up. I wouldn't do that to you, partner.
I just want the record to know. I'll point out my losses as well. I keep it very balanced.
How many state championships do you have?
Look at you. You're okay. He knows the right questions to ask to make me look not humble.
That's what I'm trying to do. See? I said that. I see. You can bring up the loss. I'll bring up the wins. 3 rings. Hey, you know what? We talked a little bit about our Mr. Football competition earlier. We talked about a couple of burners. There's our list again, the whole list. We talked about a couple of burners earlier in case you missed it. C.J. Sadler from Cass Tech, Samson Gash. Why don't we take out the microscope and look at a couple of quarterbacks here as well? We saw one in person this year. You were talking about a player that it sounds like, he's been here for many, many years. I'm convinced Tommy Carr's in his 17th year at Saline. And nobody can convince me otherwise, okay? But Tommy Carr, class of 2026, this kid has been, in a word, unbelievable this year with his numbers.
Yeah, it's insane. And he's taken right after his brother and just carrying this Saline team and doing great things here. And I mean, I think it was 9 touchdown performance 2 weeks ago. I mean, talk about video game numbers, but not only that, look at the athleticism on this kid, getting outside the pocket, but not only, you can see the next level in him. He looks downfield even during the scramble, always trying to make a play. We call that backfield creator. He's not, not a running back, but he's in the backfield trying to create the play before he decides to take off. And when he finds guys downfield, they find a lot of success here. And you see the play action. He's got the length, the size, and he's got the pedigree, man. The last name. We know his grandfather. We know what his brother's doing right now. So good things ahead for Tommy Carr.
That LSU-type uniform, the only thing missing are the 5-yard markers as well. We saw this young man in person. What a show they put on along with Hudsonville, but Cade Kaufman, a young man taking his talents to Michigan State.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Cade Kaufman. Not only did he have a great sense of the game, controlling it wise, but great arm, good cannon, was able to get rid of the ball quickly, find his open receivers. Second half, though, they got away from the pass, and I think that's what hurt him. Cade Kaufman is the offense. He can throw the ball. He can run it. He is the ultimate package at quarterback, and the Spartans are getting a real great competitor in Cade Kaufman.
What an unbelievable game that was that night. I mean, just to take a second, one of those instant classics. Hudsonville scores on the last play of the game. And little did we know, Patty and I were talking about this, and we actually shed a tear. It was the last game that we would all do this year. Well, until the 8-player final at least, right?
Yeah. But it's worth it. It's worth the shed of the tear.
But we had a shed of the tear anyway. Hopefully you aren't shedding a tear tonight. Hopefully your team is doing well tonight. For many guys, Grant, before we move on, I mean, you know this. For many guys, this is the last game they're ever going to play. I mean, that you want to talk about a sobering thought. You went through it your senior year. I know for you were able to continue your career at the University of Michigan. But for many of your Brother Rice teammates, that was it.
Yeah, that and you know, that's such a powerful statement, because when you tell somebody it's their last at something, it really provides a spark and a motivation, and that's what we found and we understood, and you got to take every snap like it's your last, and for some of these guys it is, and so you just hope that those guys are going as hard as they can, trying to do the best they can for not only themselves but for their community and for the name on the front of their jersey.
Yeah, and thanks for so many of the memories. I'm serious. Maybe you don't get this right now. It might take a couple years, and Grant, I hope you get it now. The entertainment, the enjoyment that you created for not only your fan bases, but even for people like us that have the privilege, and I do mean that, privilege of covering these games and broadcasting these games or taking a camera out there. Like, really, thank you for the memories. I hope one day it hits them that they really did put on a show for the fans out there.
They did, and you know, you hit it right on the head. Just, you know, and I think Patty has an update, but you hit it right on the head. Couldn't have said it better, Sean.
While we have a second, why don't we check in with Patty and take a look at the scoreboard and check out her nails as well. Patty?
Here are the nails. Classic French. Can never go wrong.
Beauty.
I know. Thank you. A couple of final scores rolling in. Division 5, Pontiac Notre Dame Prep 59-0 against Hazel Park. And then in Division 3, Mount Pleasant beats Bay City Western 35-14. Now, here's a game that I would really, and this is the one I've been keeping an eye out for. Again, that Muskegon and the Muskegon Mona Shores game. It was 33-27 in the fourth. Against Mona Shores, Muskegon was up. Their quarterback, also cornerback, and also safety, Lamar Bradford, scored his 5th touchdown of the game to put them up 33-27. Mona Shores answers with a trick play. Dominic Peag scores, almost ties this thing up. Now it's 34-33. And then a couple more updates for you. Ithaca leads 13-12 against Saginaw Valley Lutheran. And then another close one. I've got to check. I haven't seen anything come through yet. Dakota and Utica Eisenhower, there was 8 minutes left on the fourth quarter. It was tied 3-3. Dakota had the ball. No updates on that score yet. But as soon as I figure it out, I will let you guys know. Back to you.
French Manicure for the win, by the way. Cousino for the win. They knocked off Seaholm 28-7, I believe that was the final, 28-7. So Cousino moves on. Why don't we move on and check in with LP, Lauren Plant. Lauren?
All right, thanks, guys. We're going to get you caught up on what was happening between Northville and Cass Tech. And, again, Cass Tech was leading big in the first half. They're leading big in the second half. Tuiapa Sopo, the quarterback, drops it. Darius Summers is right there to pick up that gift. He takes it 40 yards to the house untouched. Cass Tech and the technicians weren't done. It's more Sadler magic. That's right. This time on special teams, the punt return, this one in the seam is going to be 80 yards untouched, leaving everyone in the dust. Both of those were third quarter scores for Cass. They're now in total control. They were leading 33-3 there, but now they have increased their lead to 40-3. So the technicians making a statement.
I'll tell you what, Grant, I'm not in the prediction business, okay? But Cass Tech's certainly one of the teams to beat. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a kind of a picture forming. I don't want to be a predictor as well or a projector. There's a picture forming of two teams that really could come to the forefront. Cass Tech and Catholic Central, both undefeated. And Cass Tech's one of those teams where you look at their record and you look at some games. Maybe they don't blow a team out as hard. Or Cass Tech's the type of team that will run through you in the playoffs. They just turn it on to a different level, and it's just a credit to their pedigree and the history of Cass Tech. They're always in the playoffs, and they know how to play good playoff football.
I want to go back to week one. Literally, Grant, I think it was the second game we did. The second game we did all year down at Wayne State, okay? To say that they were out of the game against Toledo Central Catholic would be an understatement. They showed next to nothing. And then all of a sudden, and the only reason this popped up is because what you just said, it was like they flipped a switch. And it was like all Cass Tech the rest of the way, and they ended up winning that game.
Yeah, and the other team had a SEC committed running back, so the other team had some really good players, and they were really running the ball really effectively. And it looked like Cass Tech had no chance. They were just out of it. They couldn't get things moving on the perimeter in the pass game, and they couldn't stop the run. But that second half came around, Sean. Donald Tabron, the quarterback, the young quarterback, showed why he's getting so many offers, why he's going to be able to go wherever he wants. And then CJ Sadler did his thing. Will Sykes had 2 touchdowns in that second half, and they really showed why that they're that team that can really turn it on and show you that they belong exactly where they are.
I want to remind, Tabron's only a sophomore as well.
Watch out, state of Michigan. He's got 2 more years.
100%, no doubt about that. Okay, as we mentioned, another thing that we do here, we do Mr. Football, and we also do the Anvil Award. There's a look at our list again. You see a couple of Spartans, 3 Irish on there. Nice to see Missouri on there representing the SEC. Even the Cyclones. Look at the Cyclones coming into Michigan and taking some talent. But we're going to talk about a couple of guys in particular. Put them under the microscope. Let's start with this young man, Tristan Comer out of Freeland.
Yeah, Tristan Comer right here at that left tackle position. You got to be a big fella, and you got to be strong. Look at his hands at the point of contact, not giving up. He's 10 yards away from the play, still going hard. And right here, just another rep. Obviously it's going to be a run here, but a great job pushing down, getting his guy way down into the line, allowing that running back to come off the edge, and a good job there. I mean, look at the power, the sheer just will. You say, an old lineman has to be able to move a man against his will, and that's a lot easier said than done, especially when that guy across from you wants to go get your quarterback. So Tristan Comer showing exactly why he is so highly touted and up for this Anvil Award watch list.
There is a look at our criteria again. And I mentioned it earlier. If you're new to this, you're probably saying, well, why do you mention that so much? Because that is our creed, legitimately. Now, you will see at the end of the year, if you've been with us before, I'm sorry to bore you with these details, you'll see at the end of the year, we literally get together in the conference room here, and LP gets up to that dry erase board, and we break down each one of the guys on our list. It's such a fun thing to do. And while I have a second, John Watson would be my favorite human ever if when we do that this year, he got us food while we do that whole process, because we haven't had food in the past. So maybe we can mix in some food to do it this year. But, yeah, that is our criteria. We looked at Tristan Comer. One more guy to look at as well, and this is Big Ben Nichols out of Davison.
Yeah, Ben Nichols going to Notre Dame next year, and you're going to see why. Passes the eye test. You can already just tell. Look at how big he is, number 70. Able to move, though, getting around, getting inside, and he's leading the running back. Making pancakes 10 yards downfield is exactly what you want to see out of your linemen. You don't want just between the 2, 3, 4 yard mark. You want them pushing guys on their back, just like that play right here. And you want a lineman that can also move, has some versatility in the hips and the ankles. And right here, he's running downfield, just getting 2 hands. And then look at him just trying to put the exclamation mark on the sentence right there. And really good job here, just driving, not giving up, driving. I mean, that D lineman is in a blender. He can't go anywhere. Ben Nichols, you're a bad man.
I love when he comes up with things like that. Where the bacon? What was the bacon one you brought up earlier?
Steal the bacon.
Steal the bacon.
When they kick that punt and it's dropping, it's falling, those guys are coming around you. You have the opportunity to steal the bacon. Now it's not always doesn't work out in your favor, but if you do it and it does well, good things can happen.
Put him in the blender. That's a great one.
Put him in a blender.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. All right, let's. I think we got some highlight packages to show you. We've got Tecumseh and Divine Child. Divine Child missed a field goal there, but they come right back. How about a QB sneak? But Tecumseh not giving up in this one. As a matter of fact, this a 24-yard touchdown pass to get back in that. 35-13, I think was the last score that we heard. Seaholm and Cousino. How about Cousino? Big win by Cousino today. What was the final in that again, Watson? 28-7. Cousino with a statement as far as I'm concerned. DLS and Fitzgerald. This is you saw the touchdown run. This is a field goal as well. DLS was up big in that one. What was the score, Watson?
55-20.
55-26.
Yeah, so since last update, Fitzgerald hasn't really moved the needle much, and you're seeing De La Salle really pull away and show postseason pride.
Unbelievable. How many times do you see it? You mentioned it. One of your teams got in at 5-4, and you eventually went and won a state championship.
Yeah, 5-4. We were sitting in Shields on Telegraph, and we didn't know if we were going to make the play. We all just gathered and said, hey, let's go. Let's just see if we get in. We got in. They gave us that opportunity. We did not look back. We said, you know what? Let's go ahead and why not us, right? Because we're 5-4. We have 4 losses. We know what it's like to lose. But let's get on a little bit of a run. We did. Devin Church led us the way. Brian Walker, Shane Lockenaria led us to a state title versus Lowell. And you know, that just goes to show those 5-4 teams, 3-6, De La Salle, don't count those guys out.
No way, no how. Hey, we've looked at every other division except for 2. You knew before we got out of here tonight we were going to take a look. Why don't we start with Division 2? And, oh, baby, I look upstairs. Look at that. That region with Muskegon and TC West and TC Central and Mona, oh, that is beautiful up that way.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you could go box by box here and just take a look at all these games. And just kind of just talk about each team. But that game, Muskegon Mona Shores, the pride of Muskegon out there. Waterford Mott versus Midland Dow. Walled Lake Western, Brother Rice. Interested to see how that one's trending. Got a little bit of pride on that one. But Walled Lake Western coming in with 68 points. Brother Rice only 54. So Brother Rice coming in new. And, hey, we got a big test ahead. Byron Center, 6-3, going up against Portage, Northern 7-2. A lot of good games here, Sean.
That is a region of doom to me, though. When I look at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, North Farmington, Walled Lake Western, and Brother Rice, any one of those teams are capable of beating just about anybody in the state.
100%. I mean, that's you flip of a coin. You put a number behind your back and you hope you guess right. You don't know. That is a great Region 6 lineup there.
How about the year that South Lyon has had? My goodness gracious, they have been a great story. Love to see L-Town in there. Good luck to the Patriots, to be sure. Livonia Franklin, they have been a powerhouse. Groves, I always love going to Groves. We were there a couple times this year. Too bad we couldn't get out there, but Coach Flaherty's done a fantastic job with them. We already saw what Cousino did. That was a 28-7 win. Grosse Pointe South, we had a blast out there last year. I think that was at our first playoff game last year, and I think that was the matchup last year as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. First, I didn't even see Roseville. Yeah, Roseville was on there. That was the matchup. It was a really good game too. Really came down to the wire.
It was about, by the way, it was about 3 degrees that day, if I'm not mistaken. It was very cold that day. But
I'm excited to see what Gibraltar Carlson does. 9-0, 77 points. They got a Mr. Football player on their team and running back Isaiah Wright, committed to Purdue. Had the opportunity. We saw him a year ago. He was a powerful running back with really good speed. Really excited to see what he looks like this year. Our
own John Kidd, a alum of Gibraltar Carlson as well. So wanted to give Jay Kidd a little shout out there. There is a look at Division 2. Division 1, and you brought it up a little bit, Grant. I think a lot of people, we in the media are allowed to look ahead a little bit. And I don't want to disrespect anybody, especially that Hudsonville team, because, Grant, not only are they 9-0, but they have showed multiple times when you think they're done, you better think again with some late game heroics for wins.
Yeah, I mean, that game that we saw, I mean, it was, you think the game's over. There's 20 seconds left. They have the ball with 3 timeouts, and they march down the field, and then they throw a Hail Mary, and they get it. So it seems like everything's going the right way. Some of the teams get that kind of magic during the season, right? You just get every lucky flip of the coin, or you just find ways. And that's a representation of what Hudsonville is. They find ways, and they're 9-0 for a reason with 85 strong, very strong playoff points. And you look around this board, I mean, that's a tough bracket, though. You got Rockford, Jenison, and Granville, really juggernauts of all West Michigan in that District 1 region. Catholic Central, another team that, like you said, Sean, we're allowed to kind of look ahead. coaches, players, you don't want to do that, right? You want to focus on your week-to-week opponent. But when you look, it's hard not to look at Catholic Central possibly matching up with some other great teams down the road.
Grant, I'm so intrigued. If one of the guys, the crew in here, can let us know what is going on with West Bloomfield and Brighton, because about an hour and a half ago, we had a really good discussion. That's a game, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It wouldn't surprise me if either one of those teams won. Now, I give a little something extra to the Lakers because they've got that home field advantage in front of what is a huge, huge crowd out in what they call the swamp, but that's a pretty darn good Brighton team as well.
Yeah, and we had the opportunity to see both teams. Brighton more recently, with great rushing attack. They fell short to Howell. They couldn't really stop the run. And I'm interested to see how they're doing against the run versus West Bloomfield. West Bloomfield has a great running back in Jamal Shakespeare, who plays some Wildcat as well, so they like to really get things going on the ground. Interested to see that update.
As we move down, hey, Celine, we've already talked about their fine quarterback, Mr. Carr. That's a good matchup against the Rocks. Belleville, hey, you want to talk about the job that they did there. First week of the year, we had that game. They look lost. There's no other way to say that. No disrespect. I give a shout-out to Coach. He's a great guy. We've got a chance to talk a few times over the year. You want to talk about a coaching job? They got that team turned around and dangerous come playoff time.
That is very impressive. That week 1 game versus Clarkson, you look at the Belleville pass, right? You think of Bryce Underwood. You think of playmakers on the perimeter scoring a lot of points. Fast forward to week 1 this year, it looked like a different team. You didn't even know it was Belleville on the field. Clarkson handled them handedly. So it's good to see Belleville getting back into stride, back to where they know they need to be. Moving one box to the right, looking at that Rochester Adams versus Rochester, little hometown pride on the line there. I'm sure the whole community is going to be headed out to that one. And you look around the board, I mean, just great matchup after great matchup. Dakota, we've been able to have them. Sterling Heights Stevenson as well. We've talked about Cass Tech and the number of players that they have going on to the next level. Really good matchups all around the board.
Let's talk about the Bulldogs from Romeo a second, because that was one of the most impressive games we saw all year. And that was a team, if you recall, Grant, they didn't have their starting quarterback the first couple of the weeks of the year. He comes back, and they've only lost one game the rest of the way, and that was to a really good Grand Blanc team. So that Bulldog team, very, very dangerous.
Yeah. And going into that game, we both talked, and we like to say, hey, who do you think has the edge tonight? We both gave it opposite of Romeo, and boy, were we wrong. Romeo came out strong, fast, and physical, and they had their quarterback back, and you could tell that things were just a little bit different and moving in the right direction. So good to see Romeo there, 69 points, looking strong in that Region 4.
So much going on tonight, no doubt about that. We will check back in with Patty in a matter of moments. We will check back in with Lauren Plant as well. But I think the crew wants us to put our necks on the line and make some Ford Field predictions. Is that what I'm hearing? You guys are asking to put us on the spot? Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Where's the high beam? Let's get some center stage
Boy,
lights.
you know what? Here's the thing, Grant. I'm sure you know this. If you get it wrong, you never hear the end of it. You never, ever hear the end of it. Nobody ever remembers you got it right. Never,
but
ever.
You feel good, though, if you get it right.
Darn right.
And that's the risk we take.
You're darn right. With our hockey picks every year, don't think for a second I don't know who's won every single year, mind you.
How big of a landslide? Or is it close?
Last year was close, right,
Okay.
John? I think last year was close. But I know a guy that won. What was by one last year? Do you remember?
No, last year was the hockey player of the year?
No. Our picks come playoff time.
Yeah, it was close, and then he won by like
I don't care how much I win by, as long as I win, okay? But John will tell you, John hears it all the time as well. They never remember when you got it right. They only remember when you got it wrong. Okay, you guys, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make ourselves look silly, okay? All right, before we do that, we will check in with Lauren. In just a second, we'll do that, as a matter of fact. In just a second, we'll check in with Lauren. But, Grant, I don't have any problem making some picks.
No,
Fine.
not at all.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
have some fun with it. We're given that opportunity. We're not coaching anyone. We're not leading guys onto the field. So part of the media, part of covering teams, we like to give picks. I'm sure the fans like to see what we think as well.
And we don't have to do the Herb Street either, because last year you and I were fortunate to do some of those broadcasts. And Herb Street always says, I'm doing the broadcast.
Yeah.
We're not doing any broadcasts, so
true.
we can pick at will, okay? Let's go check in with LP, Lauren Plant. What's up, Lauren?
All right, guys, got an update for you for the Walled Lake Western Brother Rice game. This has been a back-and-forth seesaw affair. First, a 27-yard field goal in the second quarter by Koza Caden for Brother Rice, and that put them up. But then a Walled Lake Western strike. This was a hit to Lucas Hoffmeyer. That was a 5-yard strike for 6. Then in the fourth, Kroll is going to find Jakari Jackson over the middle. This is going to set up, we're giving the field goal kicker some love here. It's going to set up a 21-yard field goal by George Hoppich. And the Warriors took a 24-22 lead with 4 minutes left, but just when it looked like it might be enough, DeAndre Hill breaks loose again, a 26-yard touchdown run. That put Brother Rice back in front 28-24, and that is where it stands right now. We're less than a minute to go in that game. And so it looks like Brother Rice might hang on, but Walled Lake Western has the ball.
Man, I thought Lauren was going to tail it off and just stop, but then the second Brother Rice highlight came back around. Got me a little excited. The Brother Rice Warriors are still in it. They are going against the Walled Lake Warriors, a little battle of the Warriors, but really good update there by Lauren, and it looks like a really good game.
I believe it's a final from down at Cass Tech right now, 46-3. I believe that was the number, so congratulations to Cass Tech. All right, so can I get personal for a second? Shout out to the guys from Northville. We live in Northville. Both my kids, Mustang grads. Heck of a season, fellas. Heck of a season. Congratulations. Certainly the team heading in the right direction. No doubt about that. All right, so you guys want to do these predictions now? All right, let's throw it to Patty and the French manicure first. We'll check in with Patty, and then we'll get into some of those predictions. Patty?
Final scores really starting to roll in now. Romeo beats Sterling Heights Stevenson in a very close game, 14-13. Dakota kicks a game-winning field goal. They'll beat Utica 6-3 when we take a look now at Division II. Muskegon's Lamar Bradford, have yourself a day. He scored his 6th touchdown in the fourth quarter. They walk away with the win, 39-34. South Lyon, they keep their perfect record intact. They beat South Lyon East 45-21. Moving on to Division III, the defending state champs Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they beat North Farmington 35-7. Fenton beats Holly 48-6. East Grand Rapids beats Cedar Spring 23-21. Looking at some Division 6 matchups, Lumen Christi, they beat Onstead 56-7. Montrose beats Flint Elite 52-8. Now if we move on to some Division 8 finals, Hudson beats Centerville 52-13, and Beale City beats Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart Irish 49-7. That's all I've got for you guys right now. Back over to you.
All right, we've got some more finals coming in, Patty. How about Brighton going into West Bloomfield? Am I getting that correct, John? 25-7, Brighton won that game? We were talking about it. It didn't, no disrespect to the Lakers, that was a 6-1, half a dozen of the other type of game.
Yeah. We were leaning West Bloomfield a little bit, but look at Brighton, man.
De La Salle, 56-26, was that the final? So congratulations to the Pilot. And I have news that will put a big smile on my partner's face. Brother Rice hangs on and knocks off Walled Lake Western.
Finish that sentence, Sean.
28-24.
I don't want to show bias, but I did go there.
No,
So.
of course. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, we're all fans of the game of football this time of year. There's no doubt about that. Man. But that was a dandy. That was one of the games I think people all around the state kind of put a circle around. Much like we were talking about with Brighton and West Bloomfield, I don't think anybody would have been surprised if Brother Rice came away with that game or if Walled Lake Western came away with that game. But congratulations to the Brother Rice Warriors for winning that one 28-24.
Yeah, really good win, and it seems like their offense has really stepped it up a notch, and they found ways to score. Thanks to Lauren Plant, he said that this is their 4th win in a row, so they're really on a roll at the perfect time as these playoffs continue.
All right, from the house that Robbie built, let's head to Clarkston. Davison and Clarkston getting together. This is a tough matchup for Coach Weingartz and his Cardinals. Clarkson, a 25-yard touchdown pass here. They opened up a 30-point lead. At that point, they went up 44-14. They weren't done. Take a look here. As you can see, great job getting that camera work. How about a 20-yard touchdown run? They open it up 51-14. Those Bash brothers are pretty good, huh?
Man, and they just keep coming and keep coming. The Bash brothers, if they're on your team, you have a good chance of winning. You see here tonight, I mean, they just handled them pretty handedly. Alex Weishenko, the quarterback, is a point guard at that position, can get the ball out to his receivers, but also can make things happen in the run game with his own legs. And he's got a two-headed monster in Lucas and Griffin Bash behind him at running back.
They are going to be tough for anybody to beat. We saw it week 1, and then we saw them again. We were there on a beautiful night in Clarkson, I think in late September. That is a dangerous, dangerous team.
It is. It is. Well coached as well.
All right, so guys, is this where we put our money where our mouth is, and you guys are waiting for us to see? Look what they're doing to us. All right, so what are you doing here? Do you want us to pick one team out of each region? Is that how you want us to do it, fellas? You want us to pick one team top half and one team bottom half? All right, Grant, you go first.
So the top half, we're going sideways, right?
Yeah.
So each, okay, the 8 sideways. I mean, give me Beal City. I took the easy one out. But give me Beal City.
I'm not going to argue with you. Yeah, I mean, when you're 9-0 and you got 42 playoff points, I won't argue with you there. So is it my turn to go next?
I think I know who you got on this one.
I'm going with Harbor Beach.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them a couple weeks ago. I hate to say it. They're 9-0. And there's John Watson's putting the mic up because, of course, my rampant ADD has my arms running all over the place right now.
It's contagious.
I saw Harbor Beach. I'm not just saying that because Maple City, Glen Lake, dangerous. Harbor Beach, we really liked what we saw at Millington. I'll take Harbor Beach.
Looking at this bracket, I'm gonna go a little bit less. I'm gonna go White Pigeon, not the 9-0. I'm gonna say White Pigeon comes out with this one.
Okay, I won't argue with that. I'm gonna go with Allen Park Cabrini downstairs. How about that? I'm gonna go with Cabrini. I think that's a pretty good team.
My uncle went there. He'll appreciate that.
All right, shout out to Uncle. Is that cool? All right, where are we going? Division 7 now? There's the zoom in. I like how you're picking one and then I'm picking one. So I get to top this right.
Okay.
This time. Now,
Okay.
Pewamo, Westphalia. I mean, they've been a machine. I pay no attention to those playoff points when you're talking about Pewamo, Westphalia. I'll go with Pewamo, Westphalia.
Yeah, I mean, it's a safe bet. Man, looking at the records, give me Saginaw Valley Lutheran. It's just point-wise, I think they can probably compete with Westphalia.
Fair enough. As we go down, Monroe, St. Mary's, Catholic Central, been there, done that, it seems, for an eternity, so I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, that's a good pick. And I'm looking at Millington. We literally called Millington Monroe St. Mary's Catholic Central final. Let's give Millington the run again.
Yeah, look at that. So now, we're going to have all these people yelling at us. You didn't pick us, Grant Perry. Why didn't you pick us? All right, so let's go upstairs. Is it my turn now? Mm-hmm. Belding. How about Belding? I'll go with Belding.
I like that pick. Montrose is looking like a nice pick, but give me Reed City.
All right, fantastic. We move down. Lumen Christi. I love that Lumen Christi team. I think the playoff points speak for themselves. That offense speaks for itself. Pay no attention to 6-3. That is a dangerous team to anybody, anywhere.
I like that pick a lot. Looking at this, I'm going to go with Almont, 9-0, 61 points.
Hard to deny.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Almont.
All right, so let's move on. I believe we're going to Division 5 now. GRCC has had a monster year. If I pick against them, I'm trying to be different. I mean that. So I'm going to go with the Cougars from GRCC.
I like that pick. I'm gonna go. Let's go Hackett Catholic Prep.
Woo!
Actually, sorry. Rewind. Let me get Whitehall, please.
Okay.
5-4.
All right.
Whitehall.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's gutsy. Boy, oh boy, this one's tough. My heart says my guy, fellow Livonian John Robinson. He's done such a great job there. I think Notre Dame Prep's offense is too much. I'm going to go with ND Prep.
I like that pick. Monroe Jefferson at the bottom. I'm looking at him 8-1. I like him a lot, but give me Frankenmuth 8-1, 57 points.
I want that 3-piece chicken meal with the extra dressing and all the gravy, all of it.
Zenders, right? Is that it?
I go to Bavarian Inn,
okay.
personally. All right, so I got the top part, right? Mm-hmm. Boy, oh boy, that one's tough, huh? Look at that. You know what? I'm going to go with Portland. Such a great community. Boy, they take their football seriously there. I know their playoff points are less, but I'm going to go with Portland.
I like that. Give me Godwin Heights. I drive by their school a lot. I live on the west side. I want Godwin Heights.
All right, as we roll down, I'm going with Divine Child. I think they got started off tonight. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to Williamston, who's had a fantastic year, but I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Yeah, this bottom one littered with really good teams. Goodrich 9-0, 68 points. Chelsea 8-1. But man, that big Harper Woods is looming with 88 points. Give me Harper Woods at 9-0, led by junior receiver Dakota Garon.
Can't deny that. As we move on to Division 3, I am going to go with Zeeland East here. How's that? I'm going to go with Zeeland East. No disrespect to Mount Pleasant, no disrespect to Gaylord. Boy, they take their football seriously in both east and west of Zeeland.
Looking at this bottom, give me EGR.
Okay. This one's DeWitt.
DeWitt. Let me get Warren De La Salle. 3-6 going all the way.
All right. So Division 2 we go. Look at Grant and I. It's almost like we're used to this now.
They went past.
Yeah, we can blow through this now, fellas. Absolutely. Upstairs. Why do you put me on a spot like that? I'm gonna go with Muskegon. I want to say White Lake Lakeland, but I'm gonna go with Muskegon.
And I really wish you would have picked the bottom region. Now I got to be a villain. Brother Rice is down there. They just won. St. Mary's just won. So that's looking like a matchup of the century. But Portage Central, man, 9-0, 76 points. How do I go against that? But give me the 5-4 Warriors, man. Brother Rice.
That a boy. Let that Warrior pride shine through. South Lyon. They've been outstanding all year. They showed it again tonight, beating their crosstown rival. I'm going with South Lyon in that region.
If you can run the football late in the playoffs, your chances of success rise through the roof. Give me Isaiah Wright and Gibraltar Carlson to move forward.
Division 1, this is the crash course that you were talking about earlier. And for the record, I'm going to prove it in just a second. I tend to agree with you. I am going to go with Hudsonville. There is find a way with that team that you can't put a price tag on. But Justin Sasante will put a price tag on it, and I'm going with the Shamrocks.
That's not a bad bet. Justin Sasante's got those guys moving. Looking at this bottom rack, a lot of good teams. And when you talk about Howell, Clarkston, Robbie Elliott's giving me these eye rays.
Don't do Robbie like that.
Man, a lot of good teams. But give me Clarkston.
Yeah.
Give me Clarkston. The run game for Howell is really good, but a lot of weapons and a lot of speed on the perimeter for Clarkston Wolves.
This is a very difficult side. I am really torn between two teams, Rochester Adams and Saline. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Adams. I'm going to go with Adams. Heck of a coach. This is a team that's been through their fair share of adversity this year, but they're coming together right now. I'm going to go with the Highlanders.
Can't go wrong with Rhino Waters. Give me Cats Tech here at the bottom, 9-0, 74 points. They're playing lights out.
No doubt. Hey, we want to thank our great crew here tonight. What a fantastic job. I mean, you guys have no idea how many people are working behind the scenes on this. Before we get out of here, I want to thank not only Patty Cesarini, but I want to thank her manicurist as well. I believe we're checking in with Patty one more time before we bid you adieu tonight. Patty, all you.
Yeah. Couple more final score updates. Howell beats Kalamazoo Central 45-20. This is all Division 1. Hudsonville beats Jenison 47-7. Saline beats Salem 43-13. Gibraltar Carlson 48-8 against Lincoln Park. Then if we move on to Division 3, Coopersville beats Grand Rapids Kenowa Hills 42-7. Division 4, Hazlitt beats St. John's 49-14. Williamston beats Lansing Sexton 47-6. Division 7, Clinton against Ottawa Lake. Whiteford Clinton walks away with this one 36-20. Division 8, Saginaw Novell beats Saginaw MLS. Final score 34-28. Back to you.
Great job, Patty. Great job to our crew. Honestly, you can't imagine the work that they put in behind the scenes. Pal, it's great to see you. Do you want to do it again next week?
Same time?
Let's do it. John, are we in next week? We're going to do it again? Fantastic. Hey, most importantly, I always say this. Thank you for inviting us into your phones, your laptops, the television, the computer, whatever the case may be. For everybody involved, my name is Sean Baligian. Have a great night from SCORE.
State Champs Score is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza. Also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University, Alta Equipment Company, Michigan High School Athletic Association, and the Construction Association of Michigan.